Welcome to Outsiders, the show that is to woke virtue signaling and identity politics on steroids what US Republican Senator Lindsey Graham is to exposing the cowardice and lack of moral clarity in the Biden administration's disgusting actions withholding weaponry from Israel in their fight against Hamas.
Are you worried that if you make a decision to deny weapons that Israel say they need, that it would send a signal to Hamas and Iran to keep pushing?
Senator, we want to make sure that we're providing the right kinds of weaponry.
Okay. Would you have supported dropping the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, General Brown, to end World War II?
Well, Senator, I think just based on the situation,
Well, we know. I mean, it's happened. We know. I'm not asking. They did it. Do you think that was disproportionate?
Oh, yes, it seems that America's top brass under Joe Biden would actually support taking decisive military action to defeat a deadly enemy.
If we go back in time and says, hey, we got 2 atomic bombs, should we drop them, what would you say?
Well, I think the leadership was interested in curtailing the...
Well, what's Israel interested in? Do you believe Iran really wants to kill all the Jews if they could? The Iranian regime, yeah. Do you believe Hamas is serious when they say we'll keep doing it over and over again? Do you agree that they will if they can?
I do, Hamas.
Okay, right. Do you believe that Hezbollah is a terrorist organization also bent on the destruction of the Jewish state?
Hezbollah is a terrorist organization.
Okay, so Israel's been hit in the last few weeks by Iran, Hezbollah, and Hamas, dedicated to their destruction. And you're telling me you're going to tell them how to fight the war?
Can anybody else believe that Lindsey Graham is the voice of moral clarity? But it looks like West Point must be choosing their top cadets these days based on moral relativism and cultural Marxism.
Do you still think it was a good idea, General Austin, to get out of Afghanistan?
I support the president's decision.
Yeah, I think you do. I think it was a disastrous decision. If we stop weapons necessary to destroy the enemies of the state of Israel at a time of great peril, we will pay a price. This is obscene. It is absurd. Give Israel what they need to fight the war they can't afford to lose. This is Hiroshima and Nagasaki on steroids.
There you go. Well said, Senator. And now, while the Biden administration stumbles around from one embarrassment to the next, let's grab the latest Outsiders news. So, Rita and James, Australia yet again, under Penny Wong, has embarrassed this nation, disgraced this nation, siding against Israel and with Israel's enemies, Rita.
Yes, decided not to vote with our great allies, Israel and America, decided not to abstain, decided to vote against our great allies and effectively award Hamas for the murderous behaviour we have seen October 7 and since then and before then. They maintain that this is not rewarding Hamas. In fact, Penny Wong was at great pains to explain this is the opposite of what Hamas wants. Yes, Hamas wants to eradicate entirety of Israel. They want every Jew gone. But it is still rewarding them. It's not giving them everything they want, but it's giving them more than they already had.
Let's have a listen to this attempt at justification by the Australian Foreign Minister.
I want to say this is a clear rejection of the goals and methods of Hamas. A two-state solution, both Israel and Palestine, is the opposite of what Hamas wants. Hamas does not want peace, and it does not want long-term security for the state of Israel.
Oh,
How on earth is this a rejection of Hamas? I mean, coming from, Penny Wong, I think we can understand that you can make these sort of moral backflips, but it is unbelievable to listen to this nonsense. I mean, the only way that you can go about talking about any sort of two-state solution is to say that first, Hamas must be eliminated. They have absolutely zero place in any future Palestinian governance organization, set up, whatever they wind up doing. So 2 states, fine, but get rid of Hamas first. But I've got some breaking news here. The Washington Post has just reported in the last few minutes that the Biden administration, and we'll be talking about them a bit later on in the program, working urgently to stave off a full-scale Israeli invasion of Rafah, is offering Israel valuable intelligence on Hamas targets, where their military are, where the leaders are, and where their tunnels are. So the Biden administration has been withholding back intelligence from Israel. They never thought Israel would press the case so far to go into Gaza and get rid of Hamas, and they always thought that, well, we don't need to give them this information. The Biden administration stands accused now of protecting Hamas and Iran. They've played this double game from the very start of their administration. This goes back to the Obama days, and Joe Biden, whose side are you on? This is the urgent question everybody needs to ask right now.
I think we all know Joe Biden doesn't know what day it is, let alone whose side he's
fine,
on.
But
this
still
is the continuation of that Obama administration. Whoever's pulling the Biden
puppet strings.
I mean, he is a puppet. He would have no idea. He would have no decision-making here. But the bureaucracy, the swamp, whatever you want to call it, it is that continuation of the Obama regime. And we know the Obama regime was fully invested in Iran, doing the Iranian deal, emboldening Iran. And we had a few years of respite from that under Trump, but they've gone back to it. And this is why we're in this situation.
And there is real serious concerns about who is even in the Biden administration making foreign policy. You know that the special envoy on Iran has had his security clearance revoked because of concerns about, well, we don't know exactly what yet, but I mean, the fact that Iran has had such a massive intelligence effort trying to penetrate the United States, and we see this with their influence operations that play out on campuses and elsewhere, this is really sinister stuff here,
Totally. The reality is Israel has to defeat Hamas, has to go in there, has to take out the entire terror network and finish it for all time. Only then will there ever be peace in the Middle East, once the terrorists are destroyed. And the idea that the Biden administration is running around, we saw earlier those various top brass saying, oh, we think maybe they could have this weapon but not that weapon. Now they're trading which bits of intelligence they're going to give. Absolute disgrace. Donald Trump has come out and he said very, very clearly that the entire Biden administration's approach, not only to Israel but throughout the Middle East, is an absolute disgrace.